and I've been a Christian pretty much my entire life. I'm a church kid, and I actually was a church planter. I've been involved in Christian ministry almost my entire life. And the Lord really shifted me into the political, the governmental realm, education realm, out of my comfort zone of Christianity. And it stretched me. And this book that I've written is part of my journey in that, and having braver conversations for our society. It is a cultural commentary in part. It talks about how we got to this point of so much cultural chaos that we're in these days. I started to become concerned about the cultural chaos that we were in several years ago, and I started having what I call brave conversations around these topics, whether it's with Christians or unbelievers. And so this book really speaks to all kinds of people, and it helps you become a better, brave conversationalist. If there are people in your life that you feel like you just can't talk to because it's become too toxic, this is a great book to help you learn how to have those conversations, to create boundaries around those conversations, healthy boundaries, because I don't believe we don't need to create safe spaces. I believe that we need to create braver spaces, because going into a conversation is never fully safe, but we can walk in there, as we know as Christians, with the Holy Spirit. And so I feel like a lot of Christians have, really minimized their voice because they haven't known how to engage, and even people in Christian ministry have minimized that impact that we could have had. But if we start to engage, but we do it with the Holy Spirit, with Christian principles in place, then we can really have a major impact. So I talk about things like minimizing toxic tribalism, how to identify it when you see it, and how to also be brave and stand up for what's right and what's true. So there's a lot in this book. You're going to probably want to go over it multiple times and maybe even explore it with some Christian groups that you are a part of. I mentioned how I was in Christian ministry, and I was very, very comfortable in my Christian ministry. I was a pastor, I was a church planter, all these things. And really the Lord shifted me hard out of that comfortable space. And I actually ran for public office. My husband ran first, and then I ran for public office. And that was a little bit jarring. It was out of my comfort zone. But as I was being shoved into these spaces, I realized that all of what I learned from my Christian upbringing was relevant, and that a lot of people, though, they left their Christianity at the back door when they entered politics. And I was realizing, no, I want to bring my Christianity to bear. I don't want to leave all those principles at the back door. So in my experiences, I kind of weave that through these stories, and even how we think about things like privilege, and how we look about pride. All these words are buzzwords, pride and privilege. And I think we can actually use our words in different ways to create leverage for our culture. So it's, God gave us creativity. He gave us our words. Actually, one of the first things he did in the garden was to name things, right? That's what Adam did in the garden. He named things. And I use this example of, the 3 gloves in my book. I talk about the white gloves, where you don't want to touch anything that's political or anything that's controversial, and we kind of stay out of things because we feel like that's the safer place. And then I talk about how we have boxing gloves on, where everything's a fight, and you can't do much with boxing gloves on, but all you can do is fight, right? But on the front of my book, I have gardening gloves, where you're actually getting in there in the culture and you're cultivating culture. And that's really what I believe that God has called us to do from the very beginning, is cultivate all the spaces that we're in. And so I show you how to do that. And at the end of the book, I kind of bring in some biblical stories of how people in the Bible did that and how we can do that today. So this is just kind of the way I wrote this book was my life story, how I started having brave conversations, and I'm continuing this journey of being more brave and also being more loving in my communication. But I really hope to help Christians learn to integrate what they know about God and how they treat people in the world, and really to do it a different way than the world does it, right? We need to be salt and light. And I believe that light sheds truth on things, right? But salt contextualizes that truth. It comes from the earth, right? So salt actually helps us know how to say it to the world. And I don't think our words always match what the world needs to hear, or in the way the world needs to hear it. And so I think we need to be really wise. We need to be both brave and wise in how we communicate. And that's what I teach people to do, how to have courage and wisdom. Because some of us have one or the other, but we don't have both. And so I'm trying to marry those principles. And I want us to be better and be more transformative in our culture. You guys from my friend Renee Duncan, who also has, I think, a few books through you, and she's now publishing a new children's book. So I was really thankful to hear about you guys from here.